and American #1, Give Me Love, Give Me Peace on Earth, was enhanced by the slide guitar playing that had become George's musical trademark since the launch of his solo career. Created by sliding a metal tube or bottleneck over the guitar strings, the sound was usually heard on blues records. Jeff Lynne, Gary Moore and Brian May all agree that George evolved a unique style.
I think George is the best slide player that I've ever heard. He's so accurate on it, and he makes it sing, and he makes it cry, and he makes it do anything really. And he can hold out a pure note with just beautiful vibrato that is so even. And it's that style, it's the melodic aspect of it, but it's also the soulful, the bluesy. He can do it all. He could do it all.
Oh yeah, I mean, he had a real soul about his playing, and that's what playing the blues is. His bottleneck playing was amazing. It was very soulful, but he didn't play it in the normal blues way because by then he had already taken on board the Indian influences. So when he would play a slide solo, it would have this other inflection to it because he was aware of the quarter tones and all the little kind of notes, you know, the notes in between the normal notes that the Western musicians play. You know, a lot of that kind of... you know, that whole sort of thing. When he would play the slide, he would incorporate a lot of that. It wasn't just straight notes. There was a lot more in between. There was a lot of that going on as well. So I think that then transferred to his slide guitar playing as well. Plus he had a beautiful touch. So he had a whole different slant on it, and that's what gave him that unique sound.
The incredible way he took to playing the slide, it's almost like he felt his technique on the normal guitar was limited and he wanted to make it sing, and that was his way. He took up the slide and played these fantastic things. One of my favourites is what he played for John Lennon on his album, which was How Do You Sleep? The solo on there is just blinding and very incisive and kind of deathly angry, which of course the song demanded. Absolutely perfect for the song.
George's collaboration on John Lennon's stinging attack on Paul McCartney seemed to imply his agreement with the song's sarcastic jibes, and in fact George also had a dig at Paul with Sue Me, Sue You Blues, written when the Beatles' legal partnership was in disarray. Author of a recent Harrison biography, Alan Clayson believes this kind of navel-gazing tended to tarnish some of George's songs.
During the mid-70s, I think he was at the point where anything he released was going to have some sort of commercial impact, and he was rather inclined towards self-indulgence, and a lot of the songs he wrote at that time gave the impression of somebody so bound up in himself that whatever the slightest occurrence or the slightest sort of emotional twinge was worth informing the whole world about in song. I mean, the breakup of his marriage was actually encapsulated in a version of Bye Bye Love by the Everly Brothers with new lyrics. And also, I mean, there was sort of a lot of trivialities. Sue Me, Sue You Blues, for example, or this song in the aftermath of his plagiarism suit. There's another song called His Name Is Legs, Ladies and Gentlemen, which is to do with his fast friendship with Legs Larry Smith from the Bonzo Dog Band. Those are the sort of songs that I think needn't have been recorded. But I think that's counterbalanced by those that were. I think George realised some extraordinary visions as a songwriter. You know, if somebody getting away from the usual subjects of pop songs, but at the same time being personal and universal. And I think that's the aim of every composer, the aim of every artist. in fact, to sort of tell you something about themselves that the whole world can relate to.
Now the winter's gone, eclipse in the sun that has lighted my love for some time, and a cold wind now blows, not much pain is flowing from the heart of someone feeling so tired, and he feels so alone, no love of his own. So sad, so bad, so sad, so bad.
Written at the time he was splitting from his first wife, Pattie, So Sad was included on George's 1974 LP Dark Horse. For the first time since 1966 and never afterwards, George undertook a North American tour to promote the new album, taking with him Ravi Shankar's 16-piece Indian orchestra and a band of hotshot session men. The ambitious shows were mauled by some of the rock press.
There was a couple of real negative reviews from Rolling Stone, and then in all the other cities we played, the reviews were not bad. There was like, it balanced out about 40% weren't so hot, but some of them were only because they said, you know, I didn't have a throat. I was singing like Louis Armstrong. And a lot of people came and wanted to see the Beatles. I don't know why, because I'm not the Beatles. But a lot of people were a bit uptight about the Indian music section. But I loved it. It was great, apart from having no throat and being overworked. I mean, that was the main problem for me, is I'd done too much in 1974 and I was wiped out. And I physically wasn't in good shape. You know, I think people should have something different occasionally.
Exhausted and disappointed by the mixed response to the tour, George was further disillusioned when he ventured out into the Long Beach Auditorium following his concert there.
When all the audience had gone, I went out into the stadium, and it was such a mess. There was a bulldozer, huge bulldozer, just moving this stack of garbage, people's trousers and coats and shoes and broken bottles of whiskey. And that's one thing I noticed, the kids are getting really into, I mean, they're all smoking reefers for a while, but now they're really hitting the booze, you know, they're all drinking whiskey and gin and, you know, so they're all so spaced out anyway. You play a concert, half of them don't even know who you are, you know, there's like, you play to 20,000 people, 10,000 of them come to see you, and the other 10,000 are with the 10,000 that come to see you, and they're all loaded on pills and booze. It's really strange. I mean, considering in the 60s when everybody was getting really creative and, as you say, the love generation, it all just went a bit sick. They're all just turning into alcoholics.
I was so young when I was born, my eyes could not yet see, and by the time my first dawn, somebody holding me, they said, I welcome you to Crackerbox Palace, we've been expecting you. You bring such joy in Crackerbox Palace, no matter where you roam, no one love is true.
From the album 33 1/3, Crackerbox Palace, inspired by the name given to the dishevelled home of Lord Buckley, a jive-talking American comedian admired in the 60s.